ain't coming, I ain't vision in the past, but then jumping to the bag. Ain't coming, ain't. I saw the whole thing coming, I ain't vision in the past, but then jumping to the bag, to the bag, to the bag. I saw the whole thing coming.
We are something else.
All right. No drop screen. What's up? Welcome to We Are Something Else. Episode 222. No phony love. Oh, let's see that drop screen again. Let's do this one more time. Where is it at? Boom. There's it is. No phony love. Episode 222. It is Culture Thursday. And we have Jen Glenn. There's E-Rich. No CB tonight. CB's got some PTO, so that's how we're going to handle it. But welcome in. Jen, good to see you for this installment of April's Culture. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. Last time I saw y'all, I think we were doing Boomerang.
Absolutely, which you can find on Gen X TV's web YouTube channel. It was me, CB, E-Rich, Jinglin, Takeover Trina, and Sammy Slated as we reviewed the 1992 Eddie Murphy classic Boomerang. Let's see who we got. Welcome in Tia, Jen B, Dave J on the mic, Chappie, Three the Hard Way, Kendall B Show, and who else we got? Anissa, good to see you. Risa, good to see you. Welcome in. So it is a Culture Thursday. How's everybody's week going? E, what's good, bro?
It's been a week. Work is definitely working. I need a break again.
Okay.
I feel it's about that time. So, but we here, West Coast, you know what I'm saying? LA, we not getting the LA weather that we should be getting, but I'm not complaining because I know as soon as I say that, it's going to be crazy outside. So, but yeah, shout out to CB for getting his PTO signed off because
right.
I know it takes a while for you to agree that we can have PTO. So.
He put it in just in the nick of time of being approved without conflict. Jen, how's your week?
My week was great. I got to hang out with the lovely Erica V and Marissa, who is actually on the show right now in beautiful H-Town. I figure if E-Rich would throw up LA, I can't do it without not throwing up Houston,
There you go. Welcome in, Snarky. Good to see you. All right. My week has been actually pretty smooth. My supervisor was not in the office this week, and he had the last couple days off. So I was able to kind of, maneuver around, still get some work done. But it always feels good when you don't have that pressure of your supervisor, around coming by every couple of seconds. Hey, what are we up to? What are you working on? You don't have that pressure. You can get a lot more done. So. But yeah, that's been my week. We have a lot of stuff to get to tonight. We have a lot of stories. So with all that, without further ado, let's go into this Let's Wrap. Where are we going to start? Start here. Now, I figure last few weeks we've been kind of, having like not so good stories, negative stories, or just stuff that doesn't motivate you. And yeah, West Coast. There you go. Right off the break, West Coast. And this happened out in my man E-Rich's side of town. Also, Kendall B and Snarky. So, Ice Cube finally gets his flowers, or a form of his flowers, in the form of being forever cemented in the TCL Chinese Theater. Right on April 15th, Cube's hands and footprints, mind you, Chuck's. The first ever pair of footprints in Chuck's were immortalized at the theater. Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who played Cube in the NWA movie and has his own franchise of Den of Thieves happening and some other movies. And he has a wrestling podcast. He said some words at the ceremony, talking about his dad. And then obviously Mike Epps, Also spoke on how Cube has been an influence of his, and how he goes back to loving, Cube's music from high school. So just something easy and light to start off with. Just positive news about things that's happening in our community. So shout out to Ice Cube, who deserves it. I mean, to see this guy go from early days of NWA and probably being like typecast or having a certain reputation associated with him, people would think, because of the gangster rap era and all that stuff. It's good to see that he was able to get out of all that and create his own lane and become a mogul in the game. And shout out to the Big Three, which is getting ready to come back. They just signed a couple of NBA veterans along the way. So we'll start on the West Coast. E, what's good? Thoughts on Ice Cube getting his flowers?
I mean, I think it's good that he's getting them while he's still here, right? I think a lot of the issues that we have is that, most of the time they give people their flowers once they're gone and they can't enjoy them. So it was good that, his son, his people was around, his family, friends, all that good stuff. So it's always a good day for West Coast when, the people can we get the credit, because we also know that, a lot of slander goes on about the West Coast. So not to mention, some other people that recently received theirs, but you look at like their body of work that they've done, and it's like, we've seen where other people have gotten theirs well over like before that, before their time. And
right.
It just seems like it's right. But I appreciate the fact that he kept the West Coast. So he's always done that. And hopefully it's some others that should be falling in line to get in the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Takeover, welcome in. Jen, thoughts on Ice Cube getting his flowers?
I love the fact that Ice Cube got his flowers. I think he was a great rapper, a great actor. He was a smart businessman. I'm glad to see him honored. And, there's a lot of people who he put on in this business. And you don't hear about him getting into too much trouble. Like, it's rarely ever like scandals associated with Ice Cube's name. He's a family man. It's about time.
Right. I mean, him and his wife been together for like 30 plus years. Like he is like the perfect example of, a role model to black men. Right.
Yeah.
And he had his past. And even if in his past, it felt like, some of it may have been an act, just to fit the mold. But now, like, look, this guy's, he's planning. I think he's probably the happiest in a while. And I'll just say that because he finally got the last Friday approved. And we've talked about that before, but we're finally going to get the last, hopefully, iteration of his vision for Friday. So excited about that. All right. So I started off light because I feel like we're going to have to get a little heavy here. And when I say that, I think there's going to be some opinions between the three of us that, we may agree, we may not agree. But if you're not up on what Wallow said recently, here you go.
Us. Oh, I'm black. Oh, black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material of your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. Don't fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them bills where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Land, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the number one nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto.
So, yeah, where do I start? I think Wallow was in a position to make a statement like this, right? And also be, I guess, take the stance that he did in his statement, and then also be real with what he felt to be real with his audience, right? So I'm going to start off and say, I disagree, right? I disagree And you know, it could be one of those things where we're only getting a piece of what he said, as like kind of the media tends to spin things. But I'm gonna go off the clip we played. Right? I disagree. As this podcast, We Are Something Else, has spotlighted several Black businesses, and I can't stand with his words, right? Because we have our Black business series returns May 1st, and we sat in a pandemic wondering about our people, local Black business owners. We chose to see how they were thriving when we didn't know what was going on in the world, as we sat home for 2 years. Right? These are people whose livelihoods, this is their livelihood. This is how they survive. So yes, I'm a little, keen to support Black business because they are Black. I can relate to that. Give them support. I will give them the opportunity for me to say no. I'll support first, and if the service is bad or I can't get with it, then I can say no. Then I can turn it down from there on. But I'm in a position to where I'm gonna try it first, especially now where we're boycotting Target supposedly and Walmart and Amazon. There's some Black businesses out here that we can go to and get the things that we need. Now we know, obviously, typically with mom and pop shops or small businesses, the prices are a little escalated. That's because they don't have the resources that a Target has for distribution, right? Or Amazon. They don't have those kind of deals. So yes, things are elevated. But to say, again, it's easy when you have money to make a statement like that, to where you have a little bit more access to things, and you choose. And then I think it is, and when you have access to other things, and you have money. So again, it's all about service. I agree with that part, but I don't think my stance is to, yes, I will support a Black business, give you the opportunity, and if I'm done wrong or I felt like it wasn't up to par, then I don't have to go back.
Yeah.
Now we know some of the facts of Black business price. Okay, I already said that. Yeah, but as a business here that features a series of Black businesses, I can't rock with what he's saying. One, I'm just in a different position than he is, and yeah. So thoughts. Let's start with you, Jen. Thoughts on Wallow?
In a way, I completely understand what he's saying, because you're not going to finesse me on just Blackness. And I'm looking at you, Dr. Umar. Now, I'm going to say, like, it's harder. I know it's harder for Black people to qualify for like business loans. And, they don't have as much generational wealth, and it's institutional racism can kind of hold them back on becoming entrepreneurs. But I'm also looking at, I'm not sticking with you if the quality is not there, or if the customer service is bad. And most of the time I'm saying this, but y'all, as soon as I see a Black business, I'm so ready to support, but I won't keep supporting if all of those things that I just said are happening. Now, I remember being in the beauty shop once, and the lady was selling like clothes and purses and everything. And she was saying how she doesn't get a lot of Black business, like Black people don't want to support her. But I was trying to explain to her, and I probably didn't do a good job. I just let it go. Why would I buy clothes here when I could go to the department store and buy clothes? They have a return policy and an exchange policy, and like, it's not as much of a hassle. I buy stuff from here. I can't return it. I can't exchange it. You don't give money back. Like, you have to look at all of that when you want people to support your business. Why would I pay more here when I could go somewhere else and it's easier?
Okay. Bro.
Y'all not gonna like me after this, and that's fine. Like I said, I'll push the line with it today. The problem is we've been conditioned to feel like because it's Black, we like the support is automatic. We had a series where it was a couple of Black businesses that were from the Maryland area, and I asked the question, how is it that we're the predominant people in PG County, but yet we don't have not one like kind of strip mall where all of our businesses are? Nobody can answer that question for me. But we were so quick to keep going back to the Chinese restaurant that keeps messing up our order and doing all this other stuff. So I think what he's saying is just straight up, like, I'm not going to you if, like you said, bad service, you just think that you're going to get my dollar because you're a Black person is definitely wrong. That's not going to happen. I bypass people who have their own business because they feel like they're entitled to my dollar when they don't have good service, they don't have good quality, all the things that we require as a consumer to buy products. So what did he say that was necessarily wrong? He said, "I'll give it a try."
Did he say give it a try?
He's I'm giving it a try, but you don't get a pass just because you're black. You don't get that pass. We give everybody else a pass, but we don't give ourselves a pass. Why? Because then it's conditioned to where we're in that mode of, well, the service was bad. I don't want to go there. They messed up this, they messed up that. Like I said, we'll go with everybody else that has done that. We've all been to a restaurant where they have messed up the service and we have gone back. But we won't give ourselves that same grace. But there's a level to that, because as owners of certain entities and businesses, we also don't know how to take criticism from our own people to make our shit better. We all know them. And matter of fact, if you're from the Maryland area, in the Bowie, Mitchellville area, there's a strip mall that's off of 214, and I don't know what the other name of the damn street is, but they cannot keep a business at this one location. Why? It's all having to do because they don't want to listen to the consumer, because they feel like, I'm the owner, I know what is best for my business. Okay, cool. But if you have terrible cooks, if your servers are garbage, so now everything, you can have a great business plan, but all of that shit don't mean nothing when it comes to the actual product itself. Now, we talk about the Black Business Series that we do because I told you this. We had a conversation about a potential product that we might want to push, but I said we got to test that out before we push that out to our people. So that's all that Wallow is saying, in a sense, like, yeah, I'll push you to the people that I know that are Black businesses that are actually doing their thing, and that you go spend your money and you're going to feel like you want to go back to them. But I'm also not going to send you to the mom and pop shit that's down the street that fucks your order up, that then turns around and tells you because you were wrong and charges you way more just because you Black, they're going to criticize that. And then when you tell your friends to go over there and they're going to ask, how was your experience? And you tell them it was trash. We already preconditioned to not go there. So what did he say that was actually wrong that we don't need to hear in our own community is, as Black businesses, outside of just saying we're a Black business, we have to step it up on all levels. There's people out here that got great businesses that from the top to the bottom, they're a great organization. That we're not complaining about them.
He said the Black business doesn't automatically get his dollar, right?
But that's a true statement.
Why does the white business automatically get your dollar?
Bro, it has that. First of all, that you really want to take it there, we got another show to do when it comes to that. Because as of right now, your dollar doesn't even stay in the Black business. It doesn't stay in the Black community. So you get paid by the white man to go spend the same money right back to him. None of that shit stays in our culture. They've already done the statistics about that. So what difference does it make if I decide to go get a pack of t-shirts from JCPenney's and not the local dude down the street who got them from JCPenney's or probably stole them from there? Not saying that he did, or let's say it's a legit business and he went and bought them shits from the garment district and he rocks them. Cool. I'll go buy my t-shirts from him. The quality is there. But also, if I got to keep calling him and he's not available, well, what do I then do as a consumer? Now I have to make the decision. Is it worth me going through that hassle to either do that, or am I going to have to go and do what I have to do to get the products that I want? That's what I'm saying. We don't have enough grace within ourselves to create a business where we're not having to keep kicking that fucking money out. We spend all the money on everything in the world, and yet we don't keep the shit ourselves. So what did he say that was different? What did he say that was so wrong? Because it's not true. It's all true. The money flies out of our culture. Everything that we do, everything we fucking touch is us. And none of that money goes to us. So what do you say that was wrong?
Oh, I'm willing to give it a shot first before I tear it down.
It's not a tear down. All he said was
speak against it, I should say.
What I'm saying, bro, is this. If somebody came to the WRSC podcast and said, I got a product, we're going to test the product before we decide to put it on this platform, correct?
Absolutely.
if it's a black product and it don't run and we don't decide to go with it, did we do anything wrong?
No. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But we also didn't say that just because you a black company, we're gonna run your shit on here.
Right. Oh no, that's exactly what I'm saying.
We're not gonna automatically buy the shit just because you a black person and you gotta, man, if that's the case, all our shit will look like Fred Sanford's house with shit everywhere.
Right. Hold on, wait a minute. That's
online.
Be Easy Shoe and Fashion Report.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
I
agree with you, E. It's both of y'all. Like, I will try the business, but if it doesn't work out, like, I'm just not going to stick with you just because we're the same color. For instance, I love my nail tech. I'll go to her, ask for her. I will wait for her. I love my nail tech. Of course, I'm pretty sure she's Vietnamese. And then I found a Black-owned nail shop. So I was so excited. Like, I went over to the Black-owned nail shop. But here's the thing, the Black-owned nail shop, like, it looked great. I was very hopeful because I was like, I'll start giving them my money. But then when I went in there, it was like, instead of having like the 30-year-olds who have more experience and know what they're doing, they're hiring these girls straight out of school, and they're young and they just don't have the experience to do the nails like somebody, basically like my person. So what did I do? I went back to my person because I'm not going to spend good money and not get the quality that I want. And here's the other thing. When you get to a certain age and you kind of get on, I'm not supporting any business of anybody if I'm not getting the quality that I think I deserve. So black business or not, like, I'm not just going to go support another business because of the color of their skin, or just support a white business because they're a white business. I just know that there are I'm just going to support the certain businesses that I know going to give me a quality product and going to have good customer service. Otherwise, I don't care who you are. I'm moving around.
Erica.
Hey, Erica.
All right. Absolutely. All right. We can continue this conversation. However you guys want. It's always Black Business Series comes back May 1st. So I'm sure that might extend, this conversation might extend to there. But I'm going to do I'm going to do two stories at once because they're kind of around the same thing. And I didn't want to drop this because this is very, very interesting story. I'll call this one Teacher. So starting with the lady in the yellow, 44, Stephanie Demetrius is accused of allegedly asking a student to kill her husband for $2,000. She allegedly paid the student $250 as a down payment. Police have obtained a recording of the phone call between Demetrius and the student where she says that the remaining payment wasn't a worry. She gave the student specific time frames of when the kids would be out of the house and that her husband worked from home. When asked if the neighbors would hear gunfire, she advised they don't care about her neighbors. During the arraignment, she declined all allegations and said, "This is being fabricated." All right, so that's Stephanie Demetrius, 44. Next lady. Next lady. Dr. Kevia Lark, 53, charged with lewd and lascivious conduct and lewd offense against a student. Huh?
Lascivious.
Lascivious. I tried my best. Lascivious and lewd offense against a student by an authority figure. All right. And this is where we go. Let's go here. Deputies say 13-year-old was sent to Lark's office for throwing balls of paper across the classroom during a test. While in the office, according to two witnesses, the victim, Lark, told the victim to rub her feet since he didn't have anything better to do with his hands. She allegedly took off her shoes and placed her legs across the boy's lap, and he did as he was told. This sounds like one of them books in the Snarky Mac. Witnesses then heard a Lark scolding the boy for not rubbing her feet correctly, and as she demonstrated on his arm and shoulder how she wanted it to be massaged. A coworker said they heard Lark tell the student rub her feet like he loved her. A witness also said Lark told the student that she was going to do this so that he would know what foreplay was when he gets a girlfriend. Co-worker said that Lark admitted several days later she crossed the line. You think? The victim told police that Lark had previously referred to him as sexy chocolate while passing him in the hallway as in school. Lark told detectives this was only a joke and that she was trying to humble the student. I think I've read enough of this story, or both stories. So let's talk about Dr. Kivia Lark and Stephanie Demetrius, who people in power who have decided to use these kids for two different opportunities.
You have a woman who gave a child $2,000 to kill her husband, and then an assistant principal who's 53 and this little boy is 13 asking for a foot rub and imitating foreplay. I'm like, why do you think children will be good at these things? Get a grown man to do this stuff. What makes you think you're going to get away with having a 15-year-old or whatever the age the woman who asked her to kill her husband? What makes you think that you're going to have a child do this job? Like, leave children alone. Stay in a grown woman's place. I don't understand these two right here. Like, touching my feet in the office. And here's the terrible thing about the assistant principal, besides the fact that you're doing that, you're grooming a child. She did it in a way where other people could overhear her saying this stuff.
You got witnesses.
You got a grooming secret. You have witnesses who turned her in. And I'm just saying, like, that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. And y'all, the woman right here who had her try to get the student to kill her husband, she couldn't do it herself, y'all, because she also got arrested for stabbing her husband, setting his house on fire, and she tried to run him over. Like, she's been arrested before, and you trust that serious job of murder to a child? Yeah, I'm out. I don't get it. Mental illness is real.
Do we know if she drives an Altima or
both of them probably drive? Also,
I mean, listen, bro, these stories are wild. Like, it's not the first time we've heard these before, and I also think I think they did the movie with what's the lady's name? We just talked about this, bro. They made the movie about the teacher getting the students to kill.
Oh yeah. There's a couple movies.
Nicole Kidman and Joaquin, I think Phoenix. Yeah. So listen, man. I mean, you talk about the location, like where these things are taking place, and it's just, it gets to a point where you're like, you can't even make this shit up. It's definitely one of those things where it's just like, yeah, there it is, to die for. It's just like, come on, bro. Like Trina said, like, what the common sense sense is not common for a lot of people. And it's no telling probably what other allegations are. I would love to see like what her rap sheet is like, because I'm sure she probably got some other things on there that we would like kind of look a little like, wait, what's happening here type situation. So
yeah. All right. Oh, told you we got a lot of grounds to cover this evening. So something on more of the nostalgic fun side. What is it? Did You Miss Me? Tommy Davidson is getting his very own Varnell Hill spinoff almost after 30 years of Martin going off air. This just proves that Martin has become a cultural phenomenon, right? BET has ordered an 8-episode series focusing around the behind the scenes, the Varnell Hill show, as he fights to stay relevant in an ever-evolving industry. The show will be produced by Martin and Bentley Cow Evans, who Almond Brown, The DME, that's Bentley Cal Evans, okay? Who was also a writer on Martin. Will also serve as Bentley Cal Evans will also serve as showrunner, writer, director, and executive producer. We're not sure if Martin is going to make an appearance on the series yet because he is. It would only make sense, right? People want that. They know people want that. 30 years of Martin, why not? Martin remains to be a culture phenomenon, and BET sees that. Sees that, and they want to recapture the feeling. Do you think they can with the Varnell Hill show? Is this something we want, or is it 30 years too late?
I mean, we all looking for things to try. Like, you know what I mean? If the writers are there, you know what I mean? If this is tough. We talked about this, I think, a couple of episodes where, even with the Q Friday situation, right? We could be interested, but I don't know if it's gonna hit the target market. And if the target market is us, first of all, anybody who was probably born in the 2000s don't know who this is. Yeah. So it's not.
His character only had 2 episodes on Martin.
Facts.
Yeah, 2 classic episodes at that.
Facts. But I also think that Tommy Davidson itself is a underrated comedian as it is, right? So there's that element to it. I think that this probably can't be like this is gonna have to be some streaming platform, and it's just gonna have to be like our generation or the generation that knows about this is only gonna ones that are gonna be checking for this. But I applaud them from at least trying to like put some good content out, because again, I think we're in this bucket where we're just recycling kind of like trash, and that's what we're getting on TV. But there are some good shows out there, hidden gems, you know what I'm saying, to watch. Maybe this is one that we catch and we actually start talking about on the show.
Oh boy, I've never seen.
Wow, she gotta go. Time out. Put that out. Nope. Get that. Yep. Thank you.
Jen, before you go, Tommy Davidson had a run in movies and in TV. Again, does this work? Is Tommy Davidson prove to be relevant in today? It's almost like Tommy Davidson in real life, this show. Can he prove to be relevant almost 30 plus years later as an actor in the game? So go ahead. Thoughts, Jen?
I don't know. I don't think so. And plus they're putting it on BET Plus. That's a paid platform. I don't know. We were talking about it earlier, and I think he was only on 2 episodes of Martin, right? So, they were funny episodes, and I'm sure they were memorable, but he played like an Arsenio Hall type character.
Right.
I know Martin Lawrence is going to be the executive producer, and what I read looking up on this is that he's supposed to come back as Martin Payne for a few episodes.
Yeah.
Going 42.
Yeah. What is happening? The comments are definitely wild.
Station land, welcome in. So the thing is, the 2 episodes Tommy Davidson was on Martin are classics. The first one, when Varnell Hill comes back to Detroit, that sets up the bigger episode, right? But that one is more important or pivotal because in the radio scene, the music station scene, the radio station scene, where Martin and Tommy are going back and forth, or Martin and Varnell going back and forth, off script kind of thing, Tommy or Varnell breaks the character Martin. Like the job was always to break Martin, right? To see if you can break a mid character. Bentley Cal Evans with the Almond Brown broke him mid character. Tommy Davidson's comment about the catfish being delicious broke Martin down. And go back and watch that episode. But it was also just to set up the more iconic part 2 episode where you get Martin and Jodeci doing Lately. Everybody knows that scene with Martin coming down the steps doing Lately. That sets up, that is the Varnell Hill show. So I'm interested to see the attempt. It's only 8 episodes, and we'll see if Tommy still has his chops, and Bentley has been writing for a while. So I think they could pull it off. I think they know you're gonna need Martin in there somewhere to get the interest to get people to watch. So I think you have to just say that Martin will be in one episode, just not tell you which one. It almost makes sense. right? Because people want Martin to come back. We're not getting Martin. He won't do it because of the death of Tommy, and yeah. So, all right. So now we talked about getting flowers, while people are still here. Here's the potential of getting your flowers way too early in life because Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter, their jerseys are being retired at a spring game, April 19th. That's this weekend. Now, both of these guys are up in the NFL draft next week, which you can watch the Hot Seat podcast. My bro Sean Xavier is right there. They do a live podcast of the first round, live on YouTube, the Hot Seat podcast, where they break down the first round of draft. And so these two, one of them is projected to be, both of them projected to be kind of high, but they're retiring in numbers after playing 2 years at Colorado. Travis did win the Heisman, but I don't think he did enough in his career at Colorado to get a jersey retirement. Have they done this before? I don't even know if this has ever happened before, but it's way too early to give them their flowers to retire a jersey at college when they haven't even been drafted yet. They barely had 2 winning seasons. I mean, I know that Coach Prime brought a lot of spotlight to Colorado when he brought those guys there, and they did do a lot. They turned that team around from a 2-win season, but I don't know about if it equals jersey retirement. Thoughts?
It is too early for sure. The thing about it is I think there's also this element of like tradition that sometimes people I think get a little sidetracked on. College sports is different for sure. And I know I have some people from Colorado on here, so I don't want to, although now I feel like Kendall, you're from the West Coast now. You've been here too long enough, unfortunately. So, but it is too early. There are other players that should have got their number retired. But I look at it, and I guess, like I said, I'll give you the heckle and jive of it. The heckle, wow. It's really a long day. I think it's also the athletic administration, though, that is also the reason why that they should really be kind of focusing their anger on. Why is it taking so long to retire the rest of those players' jerseys? Because then why, if the AD was so quick to retire these two, how come the other ones have not been retired? And I understand Coach Prime Dion plays a role in this as well as, but the athletic director came out and said something about this as well. Like it was a decision that they both made. So call it what it is. Be mad at the school for not doing it, because I guess here's the question. 100%. We said they won 2 games the year before they got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you go? Yeah. Would you go and get your jersey retired when the team that you play for hasn't even won 2 games?
That's tough. Yeah. Is Cordell Stewart's jersey even retired?
Yes, I think
it is. Okay. So I'm saying you if you're gonna do these two, you have to have some of these other Colorado staples already taken care of first before you go and handle that. Thoughts?
I don't know anything about sports, so I'm going to be honest with y'all about that.
Okay.
But I think the idea of retiring somebody's jersey so early, like they're going to go to the pros, correct?
Oh yeah, they're projected to go high next week.
And so I guess I'm thinking, what if one of them gets hurt and they don't really have a professional career? What if one of them gets caught up in the scandal? I don't know. I just think it's very early. I don't care, college, professional, to retire a jersey so early. Just wait and see what's going to happen. And what is the big deal that they're retiring these people's jerseys this early and not some of the past ones? There's got to be a reason that they're doing this.
I think one of the main reasons is Deion Sanders, the quarterback's father is the coach, the head coach. And the other one, I mean, it's kind of like a father figure to him too. Those are his 2 marquee players that he brought over from Jackson State with him. And Dion alone, the name commands the room. And he brought, I mean, that sideline with the throne on the side. I mean, he did bring a whole different culture there. I mean, a lot of that team that they had before he got these people, a lot of the teammates that was there when Dion got there left because he was like, you're not going to fit into the program. Like if you're already, a lot of y'all going to be gone. Hit that portal. So Slob.
Oh yeah, but listen, but that and not to, but Jen. So I guess to not go off of what you said, like yeah, I the core of this is that it's too early in the sense that traditionally other players that have played years prior to that had a good career have gotten their jersey retired there first. Mm-hmm. I think what the culture is that is old college football. And I understand in the sense that you can have like players that are, because again, like if they were there for like 2 years, 4 years, let's just say they had the best 4 years that college had in a very long time. No, they shouldn't be retired all the way because there were years before where the college, where that team was good as well. Right. But that individual player, they're looking at it from a team aspect of, oh, there's other players that played good ball there that they should get their jersey retired. But to the point that you made, they go to the pros and they get, scandals or whatever. Unfortunately, ma'am, that happens. There's so many college players that have jerseys in their schools that and it ain't just our colors. It's the other ones as well, for sure.
Okay. So it doesn't matter. So when they go back to those colleges after all of this, like, I mean, there's still a sense of pride that their jersey is retired.
I mean, I like not to throw salt on the wound, but I mean, OJ's number was retired at USC.
How many years after he?
I mean, it not even so much that how many years after, it's even while he was going through what he was going through, people, it's like, so does I guess the question, this goes back to it, right? So what you're saying is what you do after you leave a location should identify whether or not it takes away what you did before.
I mean, kind of, because I don't know. I think that's, you retire somebody's jersey. Like you're saying that, hey, this number, tell me if I'm wrong. This number is so like, it was so represented. It was so important that we're going to retire it. Now nobody else can use this number.
Not wear this number ever. No one can ever wear this number ever again.
Right, ever again. And so if, I don't know, I guess if they don't live up to the potential in the pros, or if they get into trouble, then I don't know. I guess they go back to the school and it's just like, oh, okay, we retired this person's number, like giving them that type of esteem, and it didn't even work out.
Right.
So, like I said, I don't know much about sports.
No, I get it. So, I mean, like a case in point, I know we got other shit to talk about, so I'll make it quick. So, like, everybody knows Michael Irvin used to be on the nose candy, right?
Yeah.
He was a great college athlete, then went great into the NFL, but his afterlife, outside of that, all the stuff. So, what are they supposed to strip his jersey from ever being retired because he had issues? He got arrested. He got all like. I think where it is what, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's not so much that it's what's your personal life, it's what you did while you had a jersey on at that location. That's all that, because guess what? At the end of the day, it's about the money that you also brought in while we retiring your jersey. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some good Samaritans out there that got their jersey retired for sure and should be, but I mean, let's call it what it is. Like Cleo knows, and some of the fellas and people who watch sports, the 90s Miami Hurricanes, the amount of stuff that they were into, none of them really then should ever have their jersey retired, but they should because of their play on the field.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and real quick, not before we move off, we've seen things be retracted back because Reggie Bush, probably one of the all-time greatest athletes at USC, got his Heisman Trophy revoked because of now what is kind of legal in college sports. So, and I don't know if they've given it back. They've given back some of his accolades. Oh, he did get it. Okay. Yeah, but he had his Heisman revoked because of now what's, again, taking money. or whatever, whatever he signed. No, his was signing, right? He's kind of layered, but whatever he did is legal now, and it took forever for them to give it back, right? So, I mean, if we're just going off basis of college career, because college career has nothing to do with the pros, because you can be horrible in college, go to the pros and rock it, or you can be great in college, go to the pros and be horrible, Jamarcus Russell. And I just don't think that their college career at this school. Now, if you want to go back to what they did at Jackson State, maybe you can have a fight there, but they're more Jackson State bred than Colorado bred. They came into another system and this is LeBron going to Miami, because Jackson State was Cleveland. He made his bones in Cleveland, and he came to Miami and just was a rock star. That's kind of what this is here. I don't think it's just too early. It's just way too early. So
it is.
And we know how popular number two is and 12 is in college. Those are quarterback or defensive back numbers. So no one can wear these numbers ever again. That's crazy. After 2 years, look at the stats. All right. Real quick, we can spend just a little bit of time on this. Speaking of LeBron, LeBron has become the first male athlete to have his likeness depicted in a Ken doll. Mattel revealed that Bron will be kicking off their Kenbassador series. Last year, 9 female athletes were inducted into this for the Barbie side. So real quick, this is dope. I think that and LeBron kind of made a statement about growing up, he didn't have a lot of role models or male figures like put into a toy like this or an action figure that he could look up to. And he's glad that he has the opportunity to have this for kids to look up to him to have a toy. So I think this is dope. Kind of follows the Leah that we just seen recently. That made headwaves. So thoughts on this? Can't do shut my pole like he said. Thoughts on this?
H-Town.
There you go. Thoughts on this, Jen?
I like that. So I was looking at the doll, and I like that the T-shirt he has on is like the LeBron James Family Foundation. So that is a program where like families get resources and support and mentorship to like help them through school. And I thought that was cute. But if I had a young child, I will not be buying them this doll because this doll is $75.
Yep.
It's hard to have a role model you can't afford.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Is it black owned?
It's Barbie owned.
I'm messing with y'all. Fans are going to get it. I think people that are just fans of LeBron James, they're going to get it. It's no different from memorabilia that kids have or that collectors have. So I think it's one of those things. Call it what it is. It's wow, the comments is on fire today. But listen, to each his own. Like I think whoever would like to have this, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Support, do whatever. Don't knock it because everybody else is on some I ain't getting it type shit. So just be your own person.
Bet. Airstream Cream, welcome in. Pit Stop, welcome in. Everybody, appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. All right, here we go. Let's dive into more of this culture Thursday.
All right, Kendall, that's enough. that's enough.
Oh, we love y'all. All right, Jen, what do you have for us for this month's installment of The Culture?
Okay, so for The Culture this month, I'd like to talk about generational wealth and our misunderstandings of people who have generational wealth. So generational wealth is a transfer of financial assets like cash, stocks, and real estate from one generation down to the other. I know I particularly bought my house for the value and where I bought my house because I'm going to use it as generational wealth. So my children can have it. But let's look at this clip. And then I want to see, do you guys agree with this female's statement and the class that you're in right now? Do you find that the class below you, there are certain things that you forgot about or that you couldn't relate to?
All right.
I mean, like, my parents are comfortable, One thing no one tells you about growing up poor is even if you one day earn good money, you will spend your adulthood feeling completely gaslit by people who obviously grew up wealthy, but genuinely think that they were middle class. Because for people who grew up like going to summer sleepaway camp or like having international family vacations every year or expecting their parents to help them with a down payment on a house, like they really do think that's how people grow up. Like they think that that's the average American experience. And you'll be at a job earning the exact same amount as that person, and yet your lifestyles will be completely different. And on some level, they'll think that's a you problem. Because the nature of generational wealth and how it filters into a person's life even long after they've left the house is that it creates a kind of invisible force field. And if you've lived in that your whole life, it's almost impossible to imagine a world without it.
So I know I'm always repping Houston, Texas, because it's the best. But I spent a lot of time in Orange County, California, and I couldn't believe how there were people who were upper middle class who thought they were kind of working class. And I mean, I guess it's easy to feel like that out there, but you would wonder, like, how do they have enough money to buy a house? Like our husbands or whoever, or we work similar jobs, like how is this possible? It's because their parents can give them a down payment on a house. Their parents can gift their kids like stocks and bonds when their babies are born. And like, you don't realize how much of a nest egg that is for you. So guys, what do you think about generational wealth and how it affects your life and the, I guess, class below you? Are there things that you still feel like, oh, I forgot about that? Or people still live like that? Or people still do those things?
Damn, you just gonna go to me first, bro. That's
Yep, I'm gonna piggyback right off your answer. Go ahead.
all right. Generational wealth, I think. Well, first of all, I've talked about this before. The problem is I mean, it for our culture, it goes back a while because what we were allowed to have was not enough for us to keep and then give away because we were still below everything. So if you will, Big Mama's house, even when she left it because of redlining and other situations, you sell the house, you still not getting no real money behind it. If you keep the house, the problem is that we also didn't have the knowledge of the best way to manage a property because nobody really did that. What happened is you should probably the blueprint is that generation should have said you buy the house and then you go buy a house in another neighborhood that then gives that property more value. Because unfortunately, Big Mama's house, that was like that small house, is not the same anymore, right? But it also is in the area where they probably changed and they've done, some, gentrification, and it probably is worth something, right? The problem with that is our parents, or shall I say my parents, if they were inherited something, unfortunately, they were still in a class where they had to either sell that in order for somebody to go to college or for them to maybe put a down payment on their house. So I think generational wealth comes with the knowledge of the best way that it keeps recycling and you actually gain a profit over that, and not we just have this house once, Jen, you're done. Because your kids can be like, we're going to sell the house when you're gone. And now it's money, right? So there's nothing there for their name to be on. But if you teach them the idea of keeping the house or using it to go buy another house and putting somebody in there, now we've changed the ideal that money is what we'll give our people when we're gone, right? So I think it's a educated change that we have to do. And to answer the second part, hell no, I ain't forgot about how people live, because I still will pass by the house that me and my parents was on when I was a young kid and understood exactly what it was to be in a house where you can damn near touch all the walls with just by spreading your arms out. You dig? Sharing a bathroom, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit don't ever go nowhere, for sure.
Right. I mean, so what's wealth, right? And let's start with that. I remember growing up, my grandparents, who thank God they're both still here, they were one of the wealthiest Black landowners in Southern Maryland. they had over 150 acres of land, right? And land back then is wealth. Still to this day is wealth because and I'll go to my other side. Look what happened in Hawaii with the fires. Real estate companies started calling to buy up the land as an opportunity to put money, just here's the buyout. Now we're coming in so we can triple our dollars. So now land is the thing. So to see my grandparents, thrive back then, through all the property taxes on a retirement kind of income and be able to hold that and to witness the real estate companies come in and be like, look, y'all are getting older and let us take this land off your hands, right? And we know what the houses market looks like right now in this area. Houses are going for $500,000 plus, right? So to me, that the wealth was there because they could pass that on, and they tried to pass that along to their children because my grandmother, it's really her family land. They all bought in on the land, and it was all just a row of houses that's all connected to the family, right? So there's the building of the wealth right there. They had the right mindset, but then when they started not getting along and one person sells their house to come out, now the land isn't always belong to the same people, right? So I say all that to say, like, to me, the generational wealth will be the passing down of land because, again, that's around here, all these houses and shopping centers going up, that's the value, that's the market. And they don't understand that. And then there's these classes need to be taught, right? Because that's the miseducation about what generational wealth is not being taught. These classes need to be taught in school because we're buying up things that don't have no value, that won't appreciate in years from now. So, and I haven't forgotten anything where I come here. I'm probably still at the bottom. I live in a good house, but I don't have access to a lot of different things. And I still feel at times that it may be paycheck to paycheck, to be honest. So I can't forget where, I came from or other people around me because I feel like I'm still there. I'm working just as hard as I was when I was 16. Ain't no money in here. So what is the show is so black CV is So that's my feel. Like I feel like I'm still working class. Like I'm here working every day to make sure that my kids have something, and I'm trying to teach them along the way to save. So
it's funny. Being generational wealth for African Americans or like immigrants is completely different than I believe for like the larger white society. I was out to dinner with Erica V and Marissa, and we were talking about the whole thing about, we're okay right now, but we did not come from that. And how a lot of the times we are still taking care of people because we have money. So our money doesn't even look the same. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're still trying to help your little sibling like go to school, or you're still paying bills for your mom or for your dad, or they live with you and you're taking them in, or you're taking in like little cousins or whatever, like our money doesn't go as far because a lot of our money is reinvested into our families. And I have to be honest with you, like my family came from the bottom. A lot of like my mother's generation, down here, like they grew up in segregation. So they came out the mud. And I don't know. I just think about how I remember one time, like some years ago, I asked my cousin, I was like, people still sell drugs for a living? That was me, like not thinking about a class or two below mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I was seriously asking that question. I was like, oh, people still sell drugs for a living like this in the 80s or 90s.
Right. But I mean, good topics. I mean, definitely keep that conversation going. But speaking of wealth, it's time to pay somewhat of the bills. D-Cup Customs, save 15%. WRSE 15. Go to dcupcustoms.com. And
do you need a gift for yourself or for somebody special in your life? Look no further. Welcome to D-Cup Customs, where my lovely wife Doreen is a mad scientist and she can make stuff just like that, or this crazy cup right here, or anything that can pop into your imagination. And see these people? in this little shot right here, everybody owns something from D Cup Customs. These aren't hired actors. We have rhythmics at home. And this is the crew who we love to sponsor. So before she raises her prices, like I'm always telling her to do, go ahead, order something, and use that code WRSC15 for a 15% discount.
To the wonderful people at D Cup Customs, shout out to Dimitri and Doreen. DCupCustoms.com. Save 15%. WRSE15. We're not quite there yet, Dave. We got to get through some. All right, bro. What we got for Is It Just E tonight?
I would rather just put Dave's comment up there because that shit is pretty on point after that. But anyway, all right. So real quick, Is It Just E? It was based upon a question. I was on traveling, work, good stuff, Dreamville. It is what it is. Appreciate that. Watching a movie. The movie is called Game Night, and it got me to thinking. Do we not like our neighbors or friends, or do people still get together for game night at all? Like, I don't hear a lot of people saying like, yo, we got so-and-so couple coming over. We're going to do game night on Friday or Saturday. Have we gone away from this? I know we talk about games. We talk about Uno and how you can lose a friendship over that and spades and all that good stuff. But real talk, like, are people really inviting their friends or their couples over for game night? Is game night still a thing?
I think so. I think when I do have folks over, I think it's typically like, the cards do get pulled out. Pool table may get, some use. What's in the corner over there is the Papa Shot. So I think it's kind of impromptu. I don't think we actually plan out game nights anymore. I think it's just kind of like, if folks over, you're looking for a way to entertain a bunch of people. Well, here you go, pull out the Cards Against Humanity or whatever. So, yeah.
Okay, so if I have people come over and we play games, it is because we literally planned that we were going to play games. It is a theme. It might have been a theme party for tonight. But if I just have people over, I'm not going to break out the Sorry game or Monopoly, which is a game I hate, by the way, because it's way too long. But traditional game nights, I don't see that too much anymore.
Right. I just think that, Look, speaking of game nights, you know what you can have at game nights? DC Shop Pie. Save 10%, WRSC15 on your pizza. Like this weekend, it's a bunch of stuff going on. NBA playoffs. There's a game night right there. You got WrestleMania. You got a bunch of stuff happening. Coachella, if y'all want to get together, watch Coachella. But order pizza from DC Shop Pie, WRC 10, and they ship across the U.S. So there's a couple folks that have tried it already. They love it. Again, Black Business Series, Black Chicago Deep Dish Pizza, Black Business Owner. Shout out to Grant. Shout out to Margaret. DC Shop Pie, save 10%. And now, okay, yeah. Now we may be acting up because of what Dave said. All right, CB's not here for the Copper Chop, but it's on me tonight. So let's go ahead and let's spotlight this right here. For this week's Copper Chop, we have the Jordan 5 Low PB&J, peanut butter and jellies. Retail $140. The release is May 1st of this year, obviously. Now, if you look at the box, grandfather's birthday. If you look at that box here, it's a sandwich. I mean, it looks like the peanut butter jelly sandwich. The details on the shoe are pretty dope. Got the peanut butter bottoms and kind of the insole of the shoe kind of represents the jelly. Yeah. So thoughts on this? Is this a cop or a chop? And this is a female release. It's a ladies release. Now I did this for the ladies, but sometimes they do come in unisex sizes. So thoughts on this, Jen? Is this a cop or chop for you?
Of course, it's not a cop for me, but I believe it's a really cute shoe. Listen, I don't spend that much money on shoes I can't run in.
Okay.
But nice shoe.
Okay. E.
Nah, we dropping the hell out of these. These is definitely not the ones. I get the concept, but nah, not at all. They could have did a better job at this.
Yeah. So again, the target audience is ladies and especially kids because I think they do come in kid sizes as well. $140. I mean, one of the lower end of shoes that we have coming out. Low fives. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I think I have a pair of low fives. They're all right. I mean, they're probably not an immediate cop. Like if they want those shoes that linger around a lot and they have my size, maybe, but not immediately. All right. So with all that, let's get to while we're here. Let's go ahead and show some semi-expensive shoes. We find something.
I can actually say mine are not expensive, so I'm good.
All right, there you go.
All right. Yeah, listen, because of the economy is trash and all that good stuff, unfortunately, getting shoes under retail is kind of like my thing. Everybody knows that myself and my brother CB are really big on Air Max 1s, but recently I've been in the Nike Ramos. So here's retail was $160. I got these hoes for $80. So yes, I'm under the $250 that Dave was talking about. Jen, you would probably like these. I don't know if you like colors, but you can run in these. They are very light.
Comfortable.
They're very comfortable. And yeah, you will definitely get your money's worth out of this. Like I said, right now, go to StockX. They under retail. So, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't go cop a shoe that was $180 and now you can get it for $80, if not even shorter, like actually less than that for sure.
All right. So, Jen, what you got?
All right. So I told y'all last time I was here that I was going to show y'all a pair of shoes that I bought that my children laughed at me. They laughed at me and told me that these shoes were ugly.
All right.
And y'all, listen, I don't succumb to peer pressure, but it's something about my children roasting me. I have not worn these shoes. They're just some little Air Max.
Wait a minute. Those are dope.
Those are the 90s.
My daughter has those.
E-Rich, don't give me the line. I'm not even sure what kind of shoes these are, but
it is said on the box. It looks like a 90. Yeah, it looks like a 90.
It says it on the box.
Yeah, on the side, not inside, though, on the side of the box.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Air Max 90 LTR SE.
Yeah.
Am I reading too much?
No.
All right.
Hey, those are dope.
I thought these shoes were cute, but I don't know. I guess the youth, they're not too much into these or something. But what y'all think?
You're not gonna find anybody in here that's gonna diss an Air Max. Those are dope.
Okay, thank you.
Dope.
Now I think I'm gonna put them on. I do not prefer that. I don't think you can see this here, but the lace, it's kind of brownish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, dope. Nothing wrong with those.
Thank you, guys.
All right. She said, what size do you wear, Jen?
Oh, I am let me see what I bought these in. I bought these in a 5.
Nice.
I have tiny feet.
All right. I'm gonna show a Nike box. Boom, boom, boom. And kind of tying into what we talked about earlier of getting your flowers too early. Well, let's talk about Deion Sanders. So yeah, which ones are these? These are the Air Diamond Turf. Which was a shoe that released when I was a kid, and I never wasn't able to get them as a kid. And then luckily, features both Deion's baseball number and his football number. And luckily, they decided to run them back, and I was able to cop them. This was maybe I call it a grail shoe, or at least a nostalgic shoe from my childhood. So Diamond Turf Dion. If you're gonna get these, I recommend you go up a full size because Diamond Turfs. So I think we are pretty much at the end. Hold on. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Jen. Culture Thursday. Thank you, bro. So what we got coming up here? So there is a Kindle Beehive vacation vote happening currently. C. Didi, who is the secretary and holder of all keys, if you want to get in on the vote. If you want to get in on the vote for 5 different locations, or is it 6 now? 5 locations, I believe, for where we're going to go or possibly could go next year on vacation. Speaking of Kendall B, who can give you probably way more details tomorrow because I was horrible with my notes and writing down where we're going. Shout out to Kendall B. Tomorrow, Funky Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on Station Head. And then following him at 12:05-ish, because it is Good Friday. He may go in overtime, which is fine. 6 all-inclusives. That's what I knew they added that last one. Then after Kindle, around 12:05-ish or whatever, you'll have We Are Something Else presents the Abstract with me. I think that we're going to Greece. I think that's it. I mean, Snarky Mac Book Club. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I got a couple surprises in the show tomorrow. A couple new things. One, I'm definitely featuring my bro Sean Xavier. We'll get to that tomorrow. But all that said, anybody plans for the weekend? Any last thoughts?
I'm gonna go see that movie Sinners. I'm looking forward to it.
I definitely want to see Sinners too, because I didn't know what it was about till we were at Dreamville, and I saw them. They were doing tattoos and giving away vampire teeth.
Vampire teeth.
I had no
it's
idea.
a vampire movie.
Exactly. I had no idea what it was about, and that's why I didn't want to go see it until now.
Okay. I know we're about to go, but that is something my family will support, and we will all get up there in a group and go support like Black movies, not the Tubi movies. Not the BET Plus movies, but the actual motion picture Black movies. We'll go support those.
Yeah, I mean, got to. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. They've been doing a hell of a press run with this. I mean, he's been breaking down the type of film he's been using. It's in IMAX. There's I think there's 3 different experiences you can see it in. I'm gonna try to go see it in IMAX. The way he wants you to see it. But then there's other couple experiences. But IMAX is the way to see it. So shout out. Support Black movies, support Black business if you choose to. But other than that, we'll return next week with Soul Tales. Me, CBE Rich, Cardo, R Money, and I don't know the button right here. Is he still here?
Be Easy Shoe and Fashion Report.
That's all I got, y'all. Yeah. Take time out for yourselves. Love on each other. Do something you love 30 minutes a day. I preach that all the time. But other than that, one more button. About to forget the last button.
Follow us on YouTube at WRSC Podcast. Be sure to like.
Ain't coming, I ain't fishing in the past. But I'm jumping to the bag. Ain't coming, ain't